And we're live from a hole in the ground in Herkimer County. This is WROX, and I'm your host, Sean Adam, here at Rock and Roll Mine. Live from this hole where we find Herkimer diamonds. The 1-year anniversary of Rock and Roll Mine. May 1st, 2023. I think I see one. I do see one. All the way down there. I was just in a live a moment ago. My phone lost power. But when I came back on, it didn't give me the option to go back into the other live. So I had to start another one. So this is part 2 of May 1st, 2023, 1-year anniversary, live dig, checking out the tailings, doing a nature walk around Rock and Roll. Here's a broken piece on the ground. Just hanging out there, gleaming in the sun. So we just found this perfect little one. This chunky broken piece in this area that I'm doing some test digs in, prospecting. Some tailings areas. There's a pretty chunky, nice piece of druze right there. Some crystals on it. Okay, I'm having an issue with the electric today because the phone died. Small one I just found. I also just there's this one. Place that on the matrix like this. Seems to be percher. And I'm just looking around in test dig areas in the tailings to see how my test digs are going. If I find interesting stuff in the tailings. So I had some people in the live and my phone died. And so that's a bummer. Maybe people will come back. Just finding a bunch of little small ones right now. Some little rider cluster on there. Crystal 2. It's a pretty nice one. Really nice one. Found a few on this side of this tailings, which is some stuff that I drug out yesterday. So that's a good sign. That tells me that there's a good amount of material in the area that I'm working in. Some interesting drews. There's a really nice piece of druze that I pointed out a moment ago, a few moments back. Looking for bigger crystals. Looking for bigger crystals. Lost the tool. knocked a crystal out when I just did that. All the way down here. Clean it off on my jeans. Looks like a little hawk-nosed percher with an iron inclusion. And a carbon inclusion looks like some of that Star Seed material. It's a little bit overcast, a little bit rainy. Hailed a few minutes ago. Wow, thunder. Thunder just happened. Probably heard that. It was like right in time with my WROX news weather report. So that's what's going on here. That's what it's like here right now. It's not too cold. It's not warm. The sun was out for a minute. Every half an hour. 1 minute of sun. So far today. Okay. I think that area just produced, I don't know, 10 or 15 tiny ones. It's good for now. Looking there. See if I can find a more productive area. Let me know if you see anything. This is the Star Seed tailing pile, where all of the Star Seed crystals that are carbon included and limonite included, hematite included. They're all coming from over here. Pretty big thundery storm coming in. There's a couple. Right there on the ground. In this area, right here. This is a test prospect hole. It is just like what it sounds like. You just dig a hole and then you just check it out. What do you find? Well, we're finding some black drues, some little carbon included gems in this hole pretty consistently. So that means it's worth chasing a little bit. That area. I have found some bigger crystals in this area, and it's pretty much tailings. from old mining. Until you get pretty far down, then it becomes a bunch of rock. I'm cutting into the side of a hill right now, so from top to bottom is 5 feet. Just cutting into the side of the hill. Yeah, my phone died, and I have a cord out here, but I wasn't plugged into it yet. Dennis. The phone died. Yep. So this is a test area. This is me checking out what is the geology of this area. How does it work? Is this the mountain? Is this tailings? What is this? And I'm cutting right into the side of this hill to figure it out. And I'm finding some pretty interesting material. These little carbon included Herkimer diamonds with some red hematite inclusions also, and coatings. Sometimes it's coated over the crystal, sometimes it's included in the crystal. Let's see if I can locate. Finding a lot of black drues, micro drues. It's definitely raining now. Cats seeking shelter. And yesterday's live, I was digging that. It's on a different level than where I'm standing right now. Awesome. Look at this baby hiding. Well, I've been doing that the whole time. I just finished and kind of threw it over there. Look at this nice piece. I put this over here yesterday I said, oh, maybe there's something on that. That's a nice little cluster. So it rained pretty hard last night. There's a crystal right there in the tailing. Looks like some of that stuff that I'm after. I don't know. Can you see that flash right there? Pretty shiny from where I'm at. Yeah, you can see it. I see it in the camera now. It's hard to look beyond the camera to find them, and then also look at the camera to know if you are also finding them or seeing them. So that's one of the little gray, clear, carbon included. A little smoky gray. But all of these in this Star Seed material. So when I came out here, this was empty. This holds about 40 grams average. 40 grams. I'll be rich. Buy a boat. I'm gonna buy a boat, guys. big one. Just like an inflatable one, just in case like the world floods. Not a fancy boat, just like a boat. Okay, that's a crystal. That's maybe all you might see sometimes. It's just that one little corner of it because one raindrop hit it. It's a pretty good sized little crystal. One raindrop hit it and exposed one little section. I clean it off on my jeans. Don't dump out all the rest of the crystals. Yeah, that's a crystal. See that? There you go. That's what we're looking for. Crystals. And women. Here's a crystal. Right there. Zoom in on that. This is what they look like. Okay, that's just a little bit of a black mirror you might see. And then it's just a clump of dirt on the other side. So, when you see that little black mirror, do you know? That's when you know. Okay, let me zoom this back out. Trying to get a system down, but it ain't easy. Okay, how about that? Yeah, these are small. Everything doesn't have to be huge crystals all the time. I love the little small ones personally. They're my favorite. I'll show you one that's so small right now it'll blow your mind, but it's also so shiny that you just want to try to grab it, but there's just no way. You can't get it. Where is it? All the comments just came up, so now I can't see. All the comments disappeared. Okay. Right here. Where's my finger? Here, over there. Oh my gosh. So hard to tell. That one is so small. It's so shiny. If Bon were here, she could get it. She's got tiny little beautiful fingers. But you know what? I have big dumb fingers. I'm not even gonna try. Because it's hanging out there on the beach, in the sun, having a nice day. Speaking of smoke breaks, apparently I had one right here yesterday. You gotta leave that stuff. Gotta leave it. Here's a crystal. See that? Can you see that? I can see it. It's right in the sun. It's just sitting right in that wall. That's Star Seed material. Gray. Look at that. You can see every raindrop all around it. Let me put the camera down so it's not shaky anymore. Where is it? Where am I? Okay, I gotta go this way. I don't know where I'm at. I'm sorry, folks. Where am I? screen. I don't know what I'm doing half the time. It's right there. There's literally a cat crawling on my back right now. Okay. Get down, Ash. No, you sit on the log. I'm gonna feed these cats to the coyotes, I swear to God, one day. All they do is try to kill me. That's a joke, by the way. Here's the crystal we just found. She just jumped right back on my back. So now, she's getting in trouble. Get down, Ash. Quit it. Go away. See the difference? This is what Luna does. She's like, oh, cool. A soggy, wet mat I can lay on. Ash, look at her. She's already trying to cause trouble somewhere else. She's eating wild berries that are poisonous. Okay, we're live in a hole. Now, yesterday, when I was over here, these crystals were coming out of this wall. This whole wall area right here. And it ended up in the tailing pile over there because I pulled it up and get the stuff out of the hole. And it ended up right there on the top of the tailing. So crystal tube. See where we're at. We're still way down there on the bottom. We got a long way to go to financial freedom. So I better get to work, is what I'm saying. I really better get to work. Speaking of financial freedom, that brings me to my next sponsorship placement. It's WROX, ROX, the news about rocks. Tune in every noon for Noontime Nuggets, live on YouTube, here at Rock and Roll Mine. Who sponsors us? We sponsor ourselves. Because we don't have any respect for corporate America. Okay, that is the tiniest one yet of the day. Here's another one right here, just hanging out in the wall. Let's see if we can get it without knocking it out of the ballpark. Without hitting a home run. All right, did we get it? is that a real life crystal? Is this crystal alive? Seems like it. Well, it was just thundering a minute ago, and I swear to God I saw some electropiezo lightning come off the mountain. And now the sun has come out. And that all happened in a matter of, I don't know, 6 minutes. You've all been here the whole time, live with me, braving the storm. It is, I would say, I started this live. These lives happen every day at noon o'clock. Oops, at noon o'clock. And I've probably been on here for an hour, so it's probably 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time in upstate New York, which is where Rock and Roll Crystal Mine is located. There's one in this junk. Look at that. That's a nice little one. See, you gotta look through the junk. Gotta look through the dirt. Past the dirty. To see them. And they're in there, and they're super shiny. Netherlands. That is pretty far away. Let's see. How about that one? Look at that. Just shining there. That one's a pretty good size. Let's bring it out here. Look at that. That's a nice one. Real nice. These crystals only occur with this type of clarity in Middleville, New York, Herkimer County. No place else in the world. They call that single origin mineral. They're only this clear here. And double terminated Herkimer diamonds. That's how they got their name. Herkimer County. Crazy. Okay, I'm going to clean it off on my jeans. And then we'll be able to see. Let's see what we got there in the tube. Can we see down the tube? Not quite. Not quite at the right angle. Yep, and that's what that one looks like. That has a little extra face that dirt was on. See that little triangle face right there? Extra face. This is the clarity that we get here, specifically at Rock and Roll. World-class crystals, gems come out of the ground, are already faceted naturally. A little bit of dirt there. All right, let's find more. That one. It's the Rock and Roll crystal tube. If you are checking out this live and you just found the channel, please subscribe and hang out. I would love to hang out, talk, chat. I'm at work right now, so I mean, any way to make work more fun, I've decided, seems cool. So, and other people might be interested. I don't know. We're going to try to fill up this tube, and when this tube is full, then we got around 40 grams of Herkimer diamonds. And when we do that together, we're all going to retire. We're going to tell our boss, screw you, we're going on vacation. Right now, I can see that we're way down here. I got a lot of work to do. I'm going to make the quota and retire early. There's a small one. Let me zoom down on that. It's easier to see when you're not in a hole. That's a very small one. That's my fingernail. That's that little tiny crystal. These little crystals are absolutely perfect for jewelry settings. So our WROX main correspondent and wrecking crew forge master, Ian Crossman, has requested $142 of these. So I'm gathering them up for him. This is what we do with these. Let's see. Okay. All right, now you're getting in trouble. The cat comes and tries to literally kill me all the time. So if anyone would like free cat, there's one. They're not even supposed to be in the mine. It's the whole thing. All right. So there's that one. They don't have boots on. That's the rules. If you don't have boots on, you're not allowed to be in the mine. And they just really don't. Extremely dangerous. All right. I am, for the past couple of days, just been over here looking at all these little tiny things, prospecting. I love prospecting, but you have to look at so many tiny things. And it really does get a little bit you're like, okay, I want to find a big crystal now. But you have to read the signs. You have to do the prospecting. You can't just assume that every place in a mine is going to just produce. And not only that, you want to know exactly what it's going to produce. So some days, I just find these little crystals. And then at the end of the day, I see how much of each different type of material I have from different areas. And I compare it. It's also interesting to see, is there any crossover between the areas and the types of material? Did some of this material end up way over there? Hey Jersey girl, how you doing? Good to see you. Look at that one. That's insane. silvery. You know, when they're silvery like that, stable. Here's a nice, beautiful scene right here. It's happening in the sunlight. Let's check this out. How about that? What about this? That way my big dumb fingers are not in the... Wow, that's cool. I just thought of that. I'm going to do this more. That way my stupid fingers aren't in the way. Can you even see that thing? It's so small. Awesome. I can't quite do that yet. It just hailed earlier in this video. It hailed. There we go. That's nice. Sorry if that just blinded your eyeballs. So this is what we find here at Rock and Roll. All the way from being tiny like this, perfectly stable, nice tiny gems, all the way to just being some crazy moss like this. We find it all. All of it. Okay. Here we go. It's got a little bit of a touch marky thing on the base of it. Looks like it was a little bit of a percher. May have been associated with this piece here. See this piece? How they're perched in there? That crystal may have been part of that. This is a lot smaller than it seems. I have it very zoomed in. It's not huge. It's not small. It's not huge. It's about the size of that crystal is the size of those crystals, so could have been part of it. Pretty close. 3 feet downhill. I'm gonna bet it's part of that. So let's, I'm gonna look through some of these pieces of matrix that I've pulled and put up here on the shelf after the rain to see what are we looking at here? Get out of here. That's a nice fog. Scott Drew's all the way down in through here. It's a nice piece all together nice piece. Okay, I threw that, cracked that open a little bit. Let's see what's inside of it. Kind of broke in its place. And the rain came down the water spout, washed the spiders out. Right, so I don't have to worry about it. Spiders. Is that song true? Are there spiders in here? There's spiders in there. Definitely. Here are some of my very expensive machines. Here at the mine, we have really expensive machines. This thing is a pokey thing, okay? It's It's not a crowbar or anything. It just fucking pokes. That's it. It's got a little bit of a thing on the other thing. Right? It's manual. Got no technology associated with it whatsoever. I tried to plug it in, but it didn't work. This thing, engine's broken. Has been broken for years. Nobody's even tried to fix it. We just use it like how it is now, I guess. Here's a dolomite vug that probably a real nice Herkimer diamond was just sitting right in. Probably a nice fat chunky one by the looks of it. You can see where its touch mark was. You can almost see the imprint of where it was exactly. A little bit of druze over there in the corner. Probably one sat over here and stuff, you know. There might even be some in there now. Probably not. Okay, could be. Yeah, I'm not really seeing a whole lot in this in terms of crystals on matrix. This is certainly a piece of the Bigfoot pocket inside of the Bigfoot pocket that made its way over here. Probably got pitched across the room. And that's just a handful of chunky calcite on a rock. Here's some good, interesting druzy. Got a nice little botryoidal thing going on there. That's definitely a vug. A nice size Herkimer diamond could have been sitting in there, or just a bunch of little tiny ones. When I throw these things, a lot of times they explode little tiny crystals into the atmospheric available space. Which sounds super technical, and it is. And it's an explosion. And we are used to explosions because we see them on TV. But explosions are actually really powerful. Don't forget that. Especially when it's an explosion of lots of these shrapnel Herkimer diamonds. Oh, look at that. That's a little stepped pattern growth. It's like 2, but it's like 1. Like a little Siamese twin action thing going on. Seems to have a tiny, tiny, tiny little rider there on the face of it. Or maybe that's a record keeper. A little triangular depression in the front of it. That might be one of the tiniest record keepers I've ever found. If it is, looks like it is. Who knows though? You never know. These tiny things. Just makes it cool. Doesn't make it any more or less valuable than it already is. It's 350 million years old. It's going to have some quirks. Some people think that a lot of these crystals are 500 million years old, but that's a slight typo. They're generally around 300 million years old in the rock formation that is around them and beneath them. That's more like 500 million. Kind of cooked for a while. A bunch of weird shit happening there. Somebody left a Coors Light can here in 1971. I created a can forest. I'm trying to make a food forest, but the cans keep coming back out of the ground. Okay, here's a crystal. Listen, just west of the can. I'm pretty sure that whoever left the can here dropped this crystal also. Dumbass. Drunk ass. And not only that, whoever dropped that beer can there, what the fuck? They're armed and dangerous. Well, this live just took a turn because we just found a gun. That's very popular on YouTube. Wow, we found a gun. But more importantly, we found this piece of druze, which is just freaking phenomenal, guys. And shiny, sparkly. It's a little bit wet right now, and when druze is wet, it doesn't have its full bling bling bling. Yeah, wasted ones. Yeah, no, it's not cool. 1832 was a dangerous year. Here's a chunky vug. I like my vugs like I like my women. Chunky with pockets full of crystals. I just made that up. I don't know. That's a joke. Look, so this is a hole in the ground that is just creating more holes. And then that hole, it made a hole. And all the way at the bottom of that hole, you'll never believe it, guys. There's plants. And you know what they're doing? Digging holes. So, I don't know. I'm like, maybe a bear lives in there. Or a coyote. I keep throwing Ash in there, but she keeps coming back out alive, so there's probably not a coyote in there. Ash turnip. She's bad. She's the bad one. Here's a crystal up in this tree root thing. Oh wait, is that druze? Is that a crystal? That's a crystal. Oh wait, it might just be a shard. Okay, well that one's no good. Here's another one over here. That's some druze, I think. Yeah, that's some pretty nice druze. Alright, put that in my pocket. See how bad Ash is? She's planning right now to try to trip me. Here's some fungus that's growing on this tree root. Pretty cool. Well, we are just looking through tailings. Here's a nice Kind of almost like a vein of Jersey. So this is Rock and Roll Mine. We're at the base of the mine entrance now. This is Super Drew's vlog there. Just kind of sitting on this boulder. She doesn't understand that it's not time for pets when I'm at work. Okay, I think I'm going to unplug the phone so I can get off this cord. Walk around freely as a free man. I'm still on parole though. From cord jail. Who knows? I don't know where my phone is at. It might die relatively quickly. But I need to get a cup of coffee. We are now in official Rock and Roll Mine. If you've watched our videos, you will maybe recognize this as Jake Tubbs' pocket. This is tailings from Jake Tubbs' pocket. And you may recognize this as being Bigfoot pocket, which is technically my pocket. Awesome. Thank you. This is Bigfoot pocket. This pocket, the front of it is a little bit filled with water. A little depression there where there was a bunch of calcite growth, and now you can see why. Hi, Lorelei. So you can see why there was a bunch of calcite right there because of that depression. The water just sits there, just like that. Wow, you guys are having like a crystal. So this is Bigfoot pocket. I think it's the largest pocket of crystals I've ever found in my life. It's practically a cave. Yeah, it's a cave. My whole body fits into it now, up to my shoes. All the way back there, it drops down about 3 feet and continues. I'm basically tunneling to hell. I think there's great crystals in hell, and they're down there, way down there. So, in the outside world, in the real world, just to give you an idea of how big that opening is to go into Bigfoot pocket. I mean, to me, that kind of reminds me a little bit of Fred Flintstone's house. You can see how the geology of this occurred. It kind of did a wave, whoop, thing like that, and it's doing a wave, right? That's as much of a clue as I'm going to give today about pocket sniping. To get more tips and clues, please subscribe to Rock and Roll Mine. Today is 1 year anniversary of Rock and Roll Mine. On May 1st of last year, I packed 3 pair of jeans, a bunch of shovels and a hammer, into my 1972 C10 Chevy truck. And drove 5 hours from Philadelphia, where I had lived for 23 years, to Herkimer County, where I have mined for a very long time. To rock and roll mine. So everything that I own is for sale, including this statement piece. Totally awesome, crazy time Drew's Extravaganza Magnifico circus event. That thing weighs about 20 pounds. Kind of looks like a sculpture. And if anyone would like to own this amazing donut of geology, this Drew's goes all the way through from one side to the other and is sparkly sparkles like you just wouldn't believe. Let me see if I can pick it up. And I can. Just to get it in the sunlight a little bit. This is probably the most spectacular freaking piece of botryoidal silver gray beautiful Herkimer diamond druzy you'll ever see. And this is part of the Bigfoot pocket. There were crystals all up in this joint. And it can be yours if you love it. I love it. I really do. It's crazy. It's just a crazy piece. So that's cool. How about some normal pieces? Here's a, now I just ruined it because now everything else is going to seem insignificant and small in comparison. But I try not to make comparisons like that, you know. But here's a smaller piece of that same exact, that's what it looks like all up inside there. This is a chunk that, let me see. Where was it? It was like up in here or something. It was like, yeah, oh yeah, I think it was right there. Popped off the top. It's a little dirty now. That's a piece of that pie. Some of the drusiest Drews. This hasn't even been cleaned. This is just all natural selection apple pie. America. Nope. This is pre-America. Here's kind of a chunky broken thing. Oh, I've really been setting aside a lot of Drews to try to organize it. Let's go over to the beautiful, relaxing spring, the natural spring. It rained and rained and rained. Yesterday and today, it rained and rained and rained and rained, and it knocked over my chair. Ash probably did it. She probably did it. Okay, so here's my attempt at being organized. Just putting things on a table. And here is the lovely, all natural rock and roll spring. dug all this out. You can see that's a real tree, but it's just reflecting. That's a real tree. Okay? Don't let perception get the better of you. This is what Ash does. She comes and steps on my boots all the time because she forgets her boots in the house. This is really flowing today. Let's see if we got any. Oh, there's a piece of glass. What are you doing in there? I don't see any crystals, but I usually don't right here. This is beautiful, relaxing ecoscape. Oh, that was just a little shard of a broken piece of a crystal. Okay, we're in the area where sometime back in 1892, somebody shot up a bunch of old bottles. Set them up right up here on the mountain and just shot all the bottles. Here's a super awesome gemmy piece of Drew's. It's like a vitroidal piece. Chunky. Doesn't look like much right now. But to the trained eye, that is a rock that you put in your pocket. Okay, here's one. Yes, I did. By hand. And I mined all that whole area intentionally to gather that water. And there's no liner in that pond. It's just a natural pond. All of that water leaches from that pond. Here's a black, nice crystal that I just found. Nice one. And I'm just following the lines of where the water is doing what I want it to do and cleaning off certain areas in the tailings. Let's see. Let me know if you see anything. Where am I with this camera? It's just how fast it can happen. You can just run into a nice one on a ledge. All of a sudden, could I walk past it 3 times? Maybe even 4. And let's see. There you have it. Rock and roll. It's a nice one.